Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of our Velocity Sellers Podcast. I am your host, Velocity Pete. Today, I'm joined by one of our recurring guests, James D., and we're going to go over a few different topics surrounding how you can plan out your promotional calendars for 2025, how to build sort of a plan around that, and really just a lot of ways for you to tackle this year with profitability and success and a lot of other good adjectives surrounding positivity on Amazon. So, James, thank you so much for joining us today to go over this topic and to kind of talk more about how we at Velocity approach this subject, and really give us our audience some good tips on how to again create this calendar.
Sure. Sounds great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So first things first, you should know obviously, of course, there's big holidays, Prime Day, Fall Prime Day. They just had they had the winter sale now. I'm sure they'll have a summer sale as a Prime Day, but they've got a lot of different big holidays you should obviously be accounting for, and stuff like that. So we use a promotional calendar to keep everything in line to sort of show our partners, hey, this is what's coming up. This is where you need to be planning out inventory, planning out ads. James, walk me through a little bit about what you do to help get the partner prepared, and how you really go about, again, creating these calendars for
Yeah.
the partners.
Great question. Yeah, I think for the most part, ultimately is having a really, I've seen a lot of clients use Excel spreadsheets. I've seen, or Google Sheets, Word docs, just about you name it. But ultimately what you want to have is a real good guide. ASIN SKU level, then what type of promo and what the promo discount is going to be. Obviously, time frame is super important because what you want to do is that information shared back to your logistics team to make sure that you're going to run promos. You want to make sure that they're in stock, right? There's nothing
Right.
like running a promo and running out of stock. And the second people you need to share that with is your advertising team. That way they know whether to ramp up advertising, dial back advertising based off profitability. So super important to have, once you do have a sheet and kind of outline, there's so many different, like Pete, I think at the very beginning, there's so many different dates now,
Right.
right? It
So
is,
we
it's super
So many
important.
weird holidays that are
Right.
national holidays. Someone just told me the other day, it's like, "Oh, it's National Pie Day in January." I said, "What?" So
Yeah.
if you sell pie on Amazon, you gotta be you gotta be doing a promo for National Pie Day. You don't know who's gonna go on there and say, "Oh, it's National Pie Day today. I'm gonna be going and looking at, um, looking for pie." So it's
Like
not just it's not just the big holidays anymore. It's
right.
not just Christmas and Black Friday and Prime Day. It's these other little weird ones that are scattered in there.
Yeah, obviously you have your seasonal holidays. You got Valentine's Day coming up. If your product is a gifting product for Valentine's, obviously that is, you want to get geared up for that. But having it all mapped out is super important because there's so many days, so many dates. Is it relevant? If you're obviously, like Pete said, if you're not really selling anything pie related, it's not really big deal to do a pie. Is Amazon really focused on those events? No, they're not. Um, but they are focused on some of the main ones, which is we have the spring event, which is the end of March, right? The last week of March. You can opt in for it. These are opt-in promo dates within Amazon, which basically means Amazon's going to throw a little bit more eyeballs, a little bit more marketing
Right.
into those features. So expect a little bit of um, volume coming into the Amazon search. Um, the other sister one obviously is the July Prime, which used to be the only big event on Amazon besides your Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and then it kind of rolls into your Fall Prime event in October. So if you kind of use these as, I like to use a Mario reference. It's something I've been playing recently with the kids.
The kids, yeah.
Always love Mario Kart, right?
Oh, of course,
But
yeah,
when
that's
you're in the
true.
race car, and you're on the track and you see the green arrow, the boost arrow. Okay.
Mhm.
So you're cruising and you're rocking along, and then you have this prime event. So think of those events, the Amazon events, as these boosters to
Right.
make you go faster. So that's kind of how I interpret a lot of these prime events or these special events you can opt in for, are just boosters. So boost into season, boost out of season. or kind of give you a little bit more traction to sell through either excess inventory or product
Right.
launches.
That's what I was gonna say next is that, using these holidays for more than just uh, sales growth. And a lot of what I see around surrounding even Prime Day, the big one, is that you shouldn't be measuring success in how many sales you get on the day, but it's also something to look at is where do we rank now? Where is our keyword ranking? Where are we sitting on the search results page? And I think a lot of these little ones can also be used for that as well. There's a lot of thought that goes into this. It's not just, randomly, oh, let's just put a promo in there. It is a lot of, I would say, planning that goes into our calendars and saying, like you said, these little holidays that sneak up on you that come out of nowhere, that sometimes don't make any sense, but are still applicable to your product. You want to take advantage of that. You don't want to miss out on that if there's potential. I mean, people might see that Google search or, how Google does their logos are different on the certain days. If I'm sure there's a lot of people that see that and say, "Oh, what's today's day? Oh, it's National, I don't know, it's National Pen Day, and you're a pen company. You got to be on top of that." Um, and there's a lot of chances for you, if your competitors aren't on top of that, to say, "Okay, we're gonna move a lot more products. We're gonna get a lot more ranking. We're maybe gonna make less per item, but we're gonna be increasing our positions on the search results page, on the keyword rankings." So, yeah, I definitely uh, think there's more to it than just overall sales.
Yeah, exactly right, Pete. There's so many different strategies within that. Whether you're trying to get lift of new products, lift of underperforming products, trying to get maybe stagnant products that haven't indexed very well to re-index within Amazon's ecosystem. So there's a lot of different strategies that you can play, but having a documented game plan or calendar is
Mhm.
is always good, right? Because you can always reference back to it and say, "Hey, what did we do last time?" And we had some pretty decent success. Sometimes if you don't record it, you're gonna it's very, you're gonna have to remember it or to try to go dig for it within Amazon in your seller account. So if you can just have a depository of those promos, make your notes, maybe even some KPIs on the sheet of, hey, I tried this, some individual goals. I'm going to try this. I'm going to try my underperformers here. My BSR is really low and my overall conversion's pretty low. I'm going to just concentrate on these particular items in regards to a KPI, not necessarily that's the only promo that you're going to be running. That way you can try to have some measures. You kind of play a game, right? You probably try to play a game. I'm going to try a title change, some image stack changes. Or I want to put it on the Amazon storefront and create a special page. Like several clients that we have, like right now, we're putting Valentine's Day as a special link on the website. And then our Amazon posts are related to Valentine's Day. So it's so many different things that you can do to get lift. And one big thing that a lot of people don't do, which is, kind of breaking the tradition of traditional outside marketing, which ultimately it's always been social promo to website.
Mhm.
Run that promo, goes to website. Obviously, we understand bigger margins there, a little bit better to control the brand process, but change the cadence up a little bit. Try to drive some off platform to platform marketing because you can do a lot of audience sets. You can build an audience set. So, for instance, if you have a product that is going to do very well in a certain demographic in California, why not run a Facebook and some Insta or create an audience in those areas and drive traffic from those platforms to your listing? You know,
Absolutely. Absolutely, and those attribution links are great too. I mean, especially with the recent fee increases, and I know Amazon has announced that they're not gonna increase any fees this year in 2025. They're not gonna add any new fees, um, which is nice, but there's still a lot of them out there, and so if you're running these promo calendars, it's a great point to say that you should be running them synonymously with your website, or if you're on social media, you should be posting this stuff on social media, like James said, driving off-brand or off-channel traffic into Amazon, getting the bonuses for that, getting the extra boost in keyword ranking, but also the extra, I think it's 10% of your price point that Amazon will kick back to you. It's a great offer. Everyone should be using it. I know I meet with people pretty regularly that don't. They're saying, what's an attribution link? What are you talking about? I could do what?" and they have a lot of social sales, and they got a lot of social media presence. So, but yeah, no, definitely want to run it synonymously too, James. I know we've got a lot of brands that have a lot of, again, like I said, social media presence, social media following. We want to make sure that we're saying, hey, promote this on your social media while we're doing it also on Amazon to really get the needle moving.
Yeah, yeah, there's just so many different opportunities that you can do, and even when it's not an event, do I run a promo when it's not an event or a special calendar day? Yeah, I think so. Ultimately, what we hear from Amazon, lightning deals are a really good way to help boost indexing. Almost the similar strategy to how Vine strategy works is obviously, ultimate Vine, you want to get reviews, but it acts as an order. It helps your indexing. Amazon sees that there's orders happening, even though they're being claimed and they're free. Kind of use that trickery within Amazon. Almost the same concept of lightning deals. I haven't seen a lot perform extremely well, but I have seen in some cases where you do get a little bit of lift. You do move up a little bit in kind of the positioning. So, um, doing some saves you money, and if you're not doing it on a special event because Amazon charges for those events, right?
Right.
You're pretty hefty, especially if on Cyber Monday, Black Friday, running those type of deals. But in some cases, you can get them at a pretty considerable discount when it's off season, and try it and see and just see your average order, your average order volume. Does that go up at all? Right. So
Right.
there's a lot of different ways that you can play around with it, but ultimately you want to track it. You want to try different things within Amazon, cross promoting, which is a lot of people don't do, right? A lot of
Which
people
is
don't do it.
yeah.
And they've changed the display of it. It used to be way down on the page of a cross promotion. Now it's right there, right by the price, right in your face, right at eye
Yep.
level. So much better conversion and a lot more tools now I'm seeing in the promotion features. So
Yeah.
why
No, they're
not?
constantly adding things to make your life a little bit easier and to make it a little more exciting too. The competition, the spirit of competition. Yeah, they're adding new dashboards, they're adding new rule sets. There's plenty of companies out there that do the same thing for you as well. If you remember our episode with Neha, her company has a rule set where you can automate things within the ads campaign to make it just a little bit easier. So there's a lot of tools and a lot of ways for you to go about doing this. And then this is a big, obviously, if you're on Amazon, this is a big market. I was reading somewhere that they estimate that the 2024 revenue in the US alone through ads only was around like 42 billion. It's crazy. It's crazy. And they think it's going to go even higher, which is just an insane amount of money to think about. Um, but it makes sense when you think about how many obviously brands are out there and how Amazon's a big, very big channel. It makes sense to think about how much you should be allocating. Kind of if you're playing like a poker game, right, and you have your chips, and you want to know where to allocate your chips to, where to put, what you think is going to hit, or if you're playing roulette, you want to pick which number you think is going to hit best. You have a pretty good chance of of betting on Amazon, of putting your resources in there. Um, and again, especially going back to the whole fee thing, now that they're not raising any more fees, it's a good way to kind of plan around how much you maybe want to spend, or maybe how much again you want to allocate out month per month on a budget basis. So
Yeah.
along with the promotional calendar,
Yeah. Yeah, and so like I said at the beginning, things to consider on a promotional calendar is really analyze and have a look of all the different types of promotions that are on Amazon, right? You have your cross promotions, your BOGO offerings, you have your tiered pricing, buy one, get
right?
this discount, buy two, get this discount, very similar to B2B pricing. You have your lightning deals, your prime exclusive discounts, you have your coupons, you have your markdown sales. So I'm really understanding the whole dynamic, right? Of what is available on Amazon to me, what has been the most impactful for my business. For instance, know your customer, try coupons. Does that work? Yes, there's a 60 cents per clip. How is the conversion and do my customers respond or my buyers respond to coupons versus markdown sales, which is the cross to pricing that has buy box impact. Coupons do not have buy box impact. So weighing out those different variables to figure out what is the best, for my customers and what they respond to. will help guide you down that process. So I would say try everything that you possibly can. Look at the data, understand what the customer is on your profile, your customer profile, how they respond to. And another even granular is if you're running a coupon, do you do a flat rate coupon or do you percentage off coupons? So, if you're running a 10 or 15% coupon, is a $5, $10 off coupon going to be more effective, So you can kind of see those dynamics. I have one client that runs dollar off, way more conversion, more success than a standard 15 to 20% discount. It's just but we had to test it and kind of see. So that will help dictate what you do kind of moving forward with your future promotions.
Yeah. And it's nice to be able to combo them as well. We've talked a little bit about this on other episodes of doing the coupon with the markdown and running the lightning deals synonymously with another coupon. And these, again, like you mentioned, the cross promoting now, you can kind of incorporate more of that. They made a little bit more, just a little bit more prettier, I would say. And the buy one get one used to be not so attractive. It used to be not so easily accessible. So it's nice that they kind of updated that and gave it a little bit more life, to kind of take a look and see just exactly again what you can do with it, and make it a little bit more. Like I said, the spirit of competition is a little bit more alive.
Well, what they
So
did,
it's
yeah, that's great. And what they did now in some cases on these cross promotions, you have the choice whether you want it as a stackable or non-stackable. So what we mean by that is can the potential buyer stack these coupons or these promos together all in cumbersome to get the biggest discount. Some cases now there's a feature where you're just like, nope, not stackable. So it's a one use promo per promotion. So those are really effective now. So I think Amazon's catching on, going, hey, people are getting really burned because it's really hard to really navigate the promotional side of Amazon on a reporting standpoint.
Mhm.
Later on down the line, be like, wow, I gave 40% off. Bro, that's crazy. But now you can set those limits. So with that's really cool too. I like that about the new feature within Amazon there.
Yeah. No, it's really neat. Again, just all the stuff that you can do with the advertising, with planning out, and making these calendars to really identify where the opportunities are, to kind of again
Uh-huh.
use everything in tandem, in conjuncture. It's a good word,
Oh,
conjuncture.
that is a good word.
There you go, a little
Eh,
SAT word for you, in
eh.
conjuncture, with each other. I don't even know that's right. That might be in conjunction,
I don't know. You got to fact
conjuncture.
check yourself there.
I'm gonna have to do that. I need a,
We'll just need an
I need a,
AI bot on
I need
these
a bot.
podcasts now.
I need Darab. Darab's our editor, everybody, for those who don't know, and I need Darab to be my Jamie from the Joe Rogan podcast, where he just looks things up immediately and it's like, here's the answer.
Nice.
In conjuncture, is not what I meant. It is in conjunction. In conjunction was the right. So using all of these ad tools,
In
in
conjunction with.
conjunction with each other,
There you go.
which is like combining them. Conjuncture is some law term. Not even close.
Uh, you
But using
tried.
them I'll just say together. Using them together,
Yeah.
is a great way to offer more discounts, offer better discounts. I hate to say offer the illusion of more discounts, but there is some sort of a method where you can offer these coupons and maybe they don't click them, but they see that there's a coupon, so they buy it anyway. There is something to say about that, but um,
Or
either way,
frequency too, I think is super important is when you look at, Helium 10 has a really good in their Chrome extension has a good feature where you can kind of see over the course of 90 days, lifetime, monthly of the price drops. Whether that customer has dropped their pricing or not, or competitor, sorry. And you can
right.
kind of get a good idea of competitive landscape, how actively, how active are your competitors lowering the price to help increase BSR, conversion, and so forth? And get an idea of that too. Because if you're not doing it and your competitors are constantly, at least once a month, changing price or having promotions, then you probably need to start incorporating some type of methodology there as well instead of being left behind.
You gotta fight fire with fire.
That's
Yeah,
it.
you gotta start getting on that, or else, like I said, you're gonna be left. You gotta start riding the wave, or you're gonna drown. I think that's what they say.
It's a
Uh,
tsunami wave, right?
yes, me and the phrases. You got to ride the wave, or else it's going to be gone. If you're like I said, if you're not doing it, your competitors probably are. And if it's good for your business, there are people out there doing it. Um, so it makes sense to get on it, especially because it doesn't really. I mean, some of these deals do cost you something, but at the end of the day, it's the value of attracting more customers, getting more impressions, getting more clicks, leading to more conversions, all that kind of good stuff. You're not even going to be in the you're not even going to throw your hat in the ring, then you're going to be really missing out and really be falling behind.
And then another thing too, looking at some research from these big events, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, especially, or even Prime event, is 15 or 20% discount enough to be considered an event? Okay, so take that in consideration. Does it move the needle? Yeah, it does a little bit, but especially Black Friday, right? Everybody knows Black Friday is looking for at least a 50 percenter, right?
They're looking
Uh,
for a big one.
Big,
Yeah.
big ones. So maybe, save those. So save your big discounts
Right.
for those particular events. Even July Prime is a pretty good one. Have a lot of mixed assortment of some 15%, some 20%, and then maybe occasional 40 or 50% are in there, and really kind of look and see. I definitely know, looking at some of the data, those 40 or 50% are going to get picked up by Amazon as well and thrown
Right.
into a special area on Amazon where, I don't know about you, but that's like the first place I look
That's
is
where I only look
what's
there. I don't
on
look anywhere
lightning
else.
deal, what's 40%
Yeah.
or 50% off or greater, and just
Right.
buy within those avenues. So if you're in there, you got a very targeted audience that are looking for, whether they need it or not is other question. They just might buy it
They might
because
just to buy it.
just to
I've done
brag that
that.
they got a big
Guilty.
discount, you know?
I'm guilty of that on
Uh,
Black Friday. Guilty as charged. You got me.
yeah, you see the rower. I got the rower in
See,
the
the
back
thrower is
there.
back there.
Yep,
Yeah.
I got the rower back
But
there.
that was a practical purchase.
It was definitely a need. And then what wife bought the roller, the stand-up, treadmill. So,
Yes. The
yep,
walking pad. Yeah,
walking
I have one
pad,
of
I
those.
know.
But yeah, they're nice. They're nice. But on that vein, yeah, exactly. I mean, you want to have these discounts, not even just for people giving a discount, but again for visibility. That really comes into play of are you getting more clicks now? Not just measuring sales on these event and these holidays, but really looking at all the other metrics as well.
Yep.
Okay. These promo calendars just help again to really plan out where you should be doing these. James is right. They don't all have to be 50% discounts. I've bought in things that was only a 5% discount. So those tiny ones they work as well. It's just a little, hey, we know this is a good, like James said, Valentine's Day is coming up at the time of this recording. Hey, we know this is a good gift for Valentine's Day. Your partner will love this. Here's 5% off, on this purchase, kind of thing. So there's a lot you can do to really not even just again the big holidays, but those little small ones as well. It's really important to know your holidays. And know kind of where your product could fall, where a increase in search might come from. Again, randomly from Google says it's National whatever day, and your product is a whatever. You want to be in that category. You want to be pushing some product out there. There's going to be an increase of search. Amazon, we know, is leading the way in terms of product research now. I think it has surpassed Google. I'm pretty sure that happened a while ago now, but people do product research on Amazon and not on Google now. Um, so if Google tells them, hey, today is this day, they're gonna go right to Amazon and say, oh, are there any discounts, or are there what is this, or looking up that they might put the thought in their mind. So those calendars are really important for planning all this stuff out, making sure the budgets look good, and also just good to have a plan. You always want to stay organized, so that helps with your ad team as well. Ads and logistics.
Yeah, play the game. Just
Yep.
turn it into a game. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna beat my last promo, right? But keep it the same, right? It might be trying a markdown sale of 20%. Well, this time I'm gonna try a Prime exclusive discount at 20% and see what has better lift. Just play the game and try different things. Keep log of it. You'll be really good shape over course of a couple of years. You're gonna be a master to know exactly how your customers respond, be like, hey, coupons
Right.
all day long. My customers love a 10%, $10 off. They love it, right? So do with what works, and try different things.
Yeah. You got to adapt. You got to learn. You got to know your holidays just as well as your customers. You got to figure out what works for them and what's going to make them happy, what's going to get them clicks. So, yeah. Well, if you need any more tips or any more help like this, make sure to visit velocitysellers.com. We'll get you set up with a nice promotional calendar for 2025. So if you like this video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Maybe leave a comment on your thoughts on our promotional calendar strategies. And make sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all things Velocity Sellers, all things Amazon, all of our fun guests that we have on here, like James. So, James, I want to thank you so much for being a recurring guest here and talking to us about this strategy.
No problem.
Um, and thank you, everybody, for watching. I'm Velocity Pete, and we will see you next week.